It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Kyle Benedict as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it is great to have you in studio with us today. We've got two guests today. League of Women Voters Greater Verde Valley back in studio. President Barbara Luttrell, welcome back.
Thank you, Paul.
It's always good to see you.
Thanks.
And then new to the studio, Director for the Candidate Boot Camp, which is going to be the topic of discussion, Kathy Kinsella. Welcome to studio.
Thank you very much.
And the phone number for you is 928-649-0135. That's an important number to keep handy. We'll mention that more times. And then the website is lwbverdevalley.com for League of Women Voters Verdevalley.com. Got it all. All right. So first, before we get into the boot camp, let's get an update on how League of Women Voters Greater Verde Valley is doing.
Okay. Well, League of Women Voters Greater Verde Valley is one of 5 leagues in the state of Arizona. The league is going to be celebrating its 100th anniversary in 2020.
Oh, that's exciting.
I know.
It's just around the corner.
It is. It is. I mean, 1920 women got the right to vote, and the League of Women Voters was formed in order to help women learn about their responsibilities as new voters. And now the league is very involved. Now in the Verde Valley, it's been very exciting because we have seen the involvement in the league grow. I would say we went from about 40 members to about 70 over the course of a year. And then we had the recent election in November, and that really motivated people to want to get involved.
It was a busy cycle. The election wasn't it?
Yes,
year
it
last
was.
Year. Yeah, a lot of people were very passionate last year.
Very passionate,
Yeah.
and as a result, the league in this area now has a membership of about 135.
That's amazing.
So it's great because people want to learn about politics. I mean, I have more people saying to me that I want to learn the issues. I wasn't paying much attention before, but now I want to get involved. And so I think, the gift of this election really has been the involvement of Americans and the involvement of people in their communities.
So people have kind of stepped up and said, wow, I really don't understand how this process exactly works. Is that what we're talking about? And
Yes.
that's what we can find out if we get involved with the League of Women Voters.
Exactly.
Now, I don't have to be a woman
Exactly.
with the League of Women Voters.
No,
right?
since about 1967, the league has been having men as members as
I want to
well.
make sure we mention that too.
Yeah, no, I think that's very worthwhile. And we have quite a few men who are members in our local league here. And we have a lot of programs that are voter education programs, as well as what we're going to talk about today with Candidate Boot Camp, where we have special programs. But we have about 3 or 4 programs a month that are designed to help people understand the issues. We have a political book club. Once a month we meet, talk about a particular book. And the goal is that by the time we get to election, by the time we have to cast a vote, we're better informed. So everything we're doing is aimed at being better informed when you cast the vote, and also understanding how your government works and getting involved in making a contribution.
That alone could be a big help, just how a bill becomes a bill and how things work and how they have to go from the House to the Senate, from the Senate back to the House, and how that whole process works. But by the time it gets to the governor's desk, like a legislative session is going on right now.
Exactly.
And I find myself sometimes going, okay, where are we at with this bill? And then a bill disappears.
That's right.
And then it comes back.
As a
And I've been
striker.
surprised as somewhat of a recent transplant to Sedona. I've lived here for over a year full-time, but I've been here 7 years part-time. But some of these bills sometimes move rocket fast compared to New York State legislature, where we're used to things going through a whole process.
Is that right?
Something
Yeah.
comes up, and then all of a sudden it's on the governor's desk. And
Let me ask you this, with that said, is that because something's being done secretly? Or is it because maybe some bills just don't receive a whole lot of public outcry on them?
I don't know, some
Or
of
is
the
it
ones that
both?
move fast have been controversial, others have been non-controversial, so I don't know if that plays into it. I wish I could figure the rate of speed out at this point.
Yesterday, we had a speaker at one of our league events. Her name is Rivko Knox, and she's a 50-year veteran of the league, and she is our lobbyist down in Phoenix. And she was explaining how a bill goes through the legislature. And in Arizona, and this may be true, I know someone commented yesterday that it was also California, but in Arizona, when the bill is introduced, the chairperson of or the head of the Senate or the head of the House can decide whether or not that bill is even going to go to committee. So the power of those two leaders is enormous. Now, if it goes to committee, then the committee chair has the power to say, yes, we'll hear this bill, or no, we won't. So that's another level
There's
of power.
two stoppers right there.
Two stoppers right there. And then let's assume it goes through, passes the House, or dies. Let's say it dies.
Right.
And somebody's trying to get another bill in. They may take that bill that they want in and replace, or take the one that died and replace it for another one that is still being heard. And that's called a striker. And all of a sudden, your bill that you thought was dead reappears and gets passed.
See, yeah, that we could.
That's the lightning fast I'm talking about. The lightning round.
Right, we would need more than 20 minutes to even get through something like that, huh?
Absolutely.
I mean, it is an amazing process. Now, you both have been in politics and held political office. Let's
Yes.
talk about that a little bit, because I was telling you before the show, just to have to go out and get the signatures would kind of be intimidating for me, and that's what this boot camp's going to be all about. Maybe we should hit that really fast.
Let's do it.
What is the boot camp going to be about, just real quick?
Boot camp is a training session. It's going to be 3 successive Wednesdays in May 3rd, 10th, and 17th. And it's really trying to take the mystery out of what it takes to run for office. We're going to provide real tools to help people assess their own qualifications, decide what might be the right fit, because as I always like to point out, there are differences between running for a city council seat versus a state legislature seat. Differences in the types of issues that come before that body, differences in the time commitments, travel, things that may make one office a better fit for someone than another. So we're going to teach people how to assess that, how to consider these offices, how to present themselves, how to actually put campaign literature together, how that should present yourself. We're going to have a whole session dedicated just to the finances, how to raise money, and then how to report money, because that's important too. We want to make sure that we are putting responsible candidates that understand the rules out there, and that nobody's getting into something that's going to be like, I'm stepping into something, it's becoming so much that it's detracting from a campaign. We want to make sure the candidates have the tools that they need and can get out there and put their best foot forward.
Oh, wow. See, we don't have to hurry. We don't have to worry, because that's going to slide right into what we were talking about.
Absolutely.
I would love to hear about both, because we've got city council person, former city council person, and then you worked for
in New York State, in the town of Rhinebeck, I was the elected highway superintendent for 5 terms. So that's a town position that's actually an office the towns run under the auspices of New York State.
Now I ask you this, from what you just said about this boot camp, we have 2 different types of candidates that are 2 different kinds of rules going to apply, different rules apply, running for those offices?
Yes, well, you need to know if you're running for a countywide position versus a statewide position. How do you actually get to that?
Position?
Yeah,
okay.
Is it a petitioning process? Is there going to be a primary? All these things would be unique to each office, and people need to understand that. We're going to go through all of that information. Basically, we have it laid out that on May 3rd is going to be a panel discussion. We'll have representatives there reflecting somebody from the school board. We've got somebody from a county supervisor from a neighboring county. We're going to have a city mayor. All of those offices will be represented, and those people will tell their stories, how they decided to run, why did they run for that office, did they run as a slate or not, and what did it take to run for that office? How is this office different than another? Some people may have run for multiple offices.
Oh boy, that's going to be interesting. We got to take our first break. I know you want to say something, but we got to take our first break. President of the League of Women Voters, Greater Verde Valley, Barbara Luttrell, in studio today, Director of Candidate Boot Camp. That's the main focus of today's discussion is Kathy Kinsella. Phone number is 649-0135. The website is lwbverdevalley.com. Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
The Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber.
You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
This was me.
and Mom and Dad. And my big brother Alex. And Jack. And this was the day that I learned that sandals get their name from sand. That jellyfish aren't made of jelly. That stars don't just come from the sky. That the ocean is bigger than all of us. This is the day we all got to forget that I was sick. And it changed everything. This was my wish.
I call you and say, I'm with the IRS. You owe back taxes, and if you don't pay today, you're going to jail. You can fix this by sending cash. Did you actually believe me? Too smart to fall for it? Well, last year, Americans paid $100 million to guys like me. 1 in 6 people were scammed. Can you believe it? Well, you shouldn't. I just made that up, too. You are a little gullible.
Welcome back to Countywide. We're talking with the League of Women Voters, Greater Verde Valley today. Phone number again is 649-0135. Website is lwvverdevalley.com. We've got Barbara Luttrell and Kathy Kinsella here. We're talking about the candidate boot camp. We talked about very briefly, and we've been flying. I'm sorry, I said if you could do it quick, but we don't have to talk fast about it. But May 3rd, we kind of got that idea. You've got, like I've got you two here. So this would be the panel right here. I've got someone who was on the city council,
Right.
and you work for a city as well in local government.
I did. I ran a city agency for the city of New York.
Mm-hmm. So can we talk about that? We'll give kind of an example of what this first May 3rd will be the first day that this is going to happen,
Yep.
right?
May 3rd, well, the evening will start at 5 o'clock, and a little bit of a networking opportunity first, and then we'll go right into the panel discussion. As I said, we're trying to have all different types of offices represented. We're trying to have all different types of party representations, independents, Republicans, Democrats represented, and we want to make sure that the experiences, all different experiences are represented in a mayor, a school board person, a county supervisor. So all of those people will be there, and they're going to introduce themselves, give anecdotes of their experiences in running for office.
Give me your anecdote.
Oh, well.
What got you into traffic?
Oh, well, actually, I like to tell people that when I was little, my brothers used to tell me to go play in the traffic. So I did.
Yeah.
You could say they were a driving force in my career. But yeah, no, but when I moved from New York City up to the town of Rhinebeck in New York State, I really was thinking about running for office up there after having been there for about a year. And I really focused on the highway superintendent position because I had a background in planning and construction that would lend itself to that office. But also what appealed to me, and this is what's important in boot camp, is that people understand that, yes, your personality type is important in making the decision of what you run for as well. I liked the fact that there was going to be end product at the end of a day, so to speak.
Okay,
I liked
gotcha.
that there was some autonomy in running that as an agency. So it was a very good fit for me. So I ran for office there after having lived in that community for a year and did win, and then did 5 terms. So it was a great experience, and I loved running. People get scared sometimes about, I can't, and the name of the boot camp is Candidate Boot Camp, Getting Over the Can't. And this is the important part of it, because one of the things that I thought is, I can't go knock on doors. That's intimidating. I can't ask friends for money. That's just, going to put a strain on relationships. No, you can. And you need to learn how to do it. And that's exactly what Candidate Boot Camp is going to teach people. Yes, you need to hit up your friends for money. Yes, you need to apply to organizations that are out there that provide support. You need to find these resources. You need to put a campaign team together that can help you in these areas for the things that are maybe more time-consuming and difficult, because you should be out there knocking on doors
Was
and
it fun?
meeting with people. It was.
Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah?
It was great. I like a challenge.
It's got to be. I was going to say it's got to be a huge challenge, right?
is.
Okay, I need to win this seat. This is a challenge.
Yes, but it's
Right?
also I'm a sort of a classic extrovert. I get charged by being with people. The more I'm with people and the more I talk to people, the more energized I am.
Okay.
And to me, it was great to go knocking door to door, and people are generally friendly. I mean, that's an important thing for people to know. They think it's going to be something that they're going to get a door slammed in their face or it's going to be a negative experience. 99.5% of the time, people are very welcoming, they're very respectful, they like to speak to you. It's always, if you like people, running for office is a great thing to do.
That is interesting to hear you say that, because I would think the same thing, that knocking on doors, you know, people these days, you really don't want somebody coming to your door, but maybe the neighborhood thing is coming back. Maybe it's getting better.
No,
and you ran too.
I did. I ran for city council, and I remember waking up one morning. And it was November 7th of whatever year. The following year was going to be the election, and I said to my husband, you know, I'm going to run for city council. So I went down, I got the packet.
What made you say that, though?
Well, I had been involved, as you know, from my being here
You're
before.
Involved in everything,
I was
so
involved
I know
with
that.
Keep Sedona Beautiful.
Right.
And we were involved with a number of issues that related to preservation of dark skies and various other things.
Okay.
And there were just some issues that really attracted my attention and that I felt were important as it related to the Sedona City Council and their decisions. So I felt that I could bring something to the decision-making process. We were also getting ready to do a new community plan, and that's a 10-year plan. And so if you can be around for when they're doing the plan, you can have an impact on the future of what goes on.
Makes sense.
And so that was one of the reasons that I was running, was if we were going to have a new community plan, I was hopeful that I would be able to be involved in that process from a city council level. So I did. But I think one thing Kathy said that I think is interesting, because she said she's the classic extrovert. And while I may seem to be an extrovert, I'm not a classic extrovert. And in fact, one of the people that we will have speaking is actually an introvert. And to have an introvert who is running for city council is a whole different picture. And I'm really looking forward to having, it's John Thompson. And I know John will explain how he had to come to running, how he decided to run.
It'd be a difficult thing to do.
Well, it can be,
Right.
but when you look at it and you decide, you set your goals. And I remember John setting his goals of how many doors he was going to knock on and so on. And when I went out to do it, I already had a lot of name recognition from organizations I was involved in. So I didn't have to do quite as much door knocking. But John, I know, knocked on like 1,500 doors. And another guy that I worked with on council, Dennis Rayner, he also went up and down the streets in Sedona and visited every single business. And, you know, that's not the easiest thing to do, but once you get started and realize that people are grateful that you're running. And they're willing to support that you're stepping up to service. So I think there's something they admire about people who choose to do this. So everybody does it on the local level. I don't think people hate politicians quite the way we often hear about it on the larger national level. But on the local level, people are grateful that you're running. And so I think that's, it's a good thing. And I think everybody approaches it, different personalities approach it in a different way, and that's what makes it so wonderful, because they all bring something to it that's different.
Wow. Okay. So on May 3rd, we've got the Y Run, motivation, qualifications, campaign team.
Right.
How long is each of these classes going to last?
The panel discussion, it's going to vary each night, because we have it set up like the first night is a panel discussion. The next one is going to be actually more of presentations, and we're going to
When
have...
I knock on that door and somebody comes to it, how am I going to present myself?
We're going to actually teach you how to make that 1 minute so-called
Gotcha.
elevator pitch,
Okay,
and we're
okay.
going to have a practice session as well. We're going to have one of our team members putting this together is going to lead that exercise.
Okay.
And in the third night, which I do want to talk about as well, because that we're going to have real tools with that. And one of the people that's coming up, and I want to make sure I get the name right, is Teresa Jones. And Teresa Jones is the campaign finance supervisor for the Arizona Secretary of State. So this is the person who's going to tell you exactly what your filings need to be. So how you can actually be a responsible candidate and get those in. So we're bringing real experts in. We're going to have people in the second night on May 10th when we're doing presentation of yourself and your campaign materials. We're going to have graphic designer there who says how to put it together. We're going to have people who are going to speak from experience about what they've learned is good campaign material versus bad campaign material. What's bad campaign material? The stuff that ends up right in the trash bin. You know, so we want to give those actual tools. There's a mechanical structure to running for office that goes behind the personality that you want to put forth as well, and as I said, your interest level. So we've broken it up into the 3 nights so that we can sort of break down those pieces of what it takes to put a campaign together.
All right, let's take our other break. Okay, League of Women Voters, Greater Verde Valley. Phone number is 649-0135. Website is lwvverdevalley.com. Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
The Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber.
You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
I didn't know where my life was going. With Wounded Warrior Project's help, I was able to get my life back in order. I thank Wounded Warrior Project not only for helping me, but also helping veterans that I know that are dealing with the same struggles that I am. Wounded Warrior Project understood what I was going through. I'm grateful that Wounded Warrior Project helped me reestablish my life. I am living proof.
Hello, I'm Jen Cohen, host of Verde Valley TV's hit TV show, The Verde Valley Experience. On each episode, we feature local organizations, nonprofits, persons of interest, events, activities, and great local musicians. It's informative, it's entertaining, it's fun. It's the Verde Valley Experience.
We meet online, and I tell you, I'm falling in love. I have to see you in person, but I need a loan for the ticket. I really think you're the one. And I really think you're desperate. Sure enough, you send cash and never see me again. Too smart to fall for this? Last year alone, 12 million Americans lost money this way. Can you believe it? You shouldn't. I made that up, too. Might not be as smart as you thought you were.
Welcome back to Countywide. League of Women Voters, Greater Verde Valley in studio today. Real quick, are we going to have some big shindigs going on then in 2020? Oh, the 100-year anniversary?
Well, the 100.
I meant to ask you way back at the beginning.
Yeah,
you mentioned you're going to get 100. So
the 100-year anniversary of the League of Women Voters. I know on a national level they're already planning large stuff, and then on a local level, of course, we'll be doing something.
Because I know the Arizona Centennial. I mean, you heard about it for a year or two. Before it actually took place.
Yes.
So okay, good. Yeah. So we've got that to look forward to.
You bet.
A great phone number now. You're gonna get Barbara when you call this number for more information about this candidate boot camp, Getting Over the Can't. We want to make sure we add that in there. Getting Over the Can't. It's going to be a step-by-step to just take somebody like myself who would be concerned about something like this, and I don't know if I can do it, and give you the tools to go ahead and say, yeah, you can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a free program, too. I just want to make sure that when somebody does call Barbara to register, that they understand that there's no registration fee. And we're very lucky to be able to do that because we've had some supporters that have really helped us, some sponsors, which include the Steve Stegner and the Lodging Council in Sedona, Mark Sterling and Sterling Financial, the League of Women Voters, of course, Yavapai College, the Sedona Chamber of Commerce, and the Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce. All of those organizations have helped us spread the word, have helped with financial support to make this a free program for those who are interested in getting this information. And you don't have to be thinking about running for office in order to take this. If you want to be a supporter on a campaign, be an effective part of a campaign team,
that's a good point.
This is the right workshop for you to take. Again, we don't want anybody to be discouraged. This is going to take the mystery out of it. We encourage people to come and get this information. There's such a surge of interest, I think as Barbara mentioned before. Every organization is seeing such upswings in terms of the number of people and people that are seeking information. Come seek this information because it's good information that will give you real tools to go out and find a way that you're going to be able to serve in your community, whether it's helping someone else or running against a candidate yourself.
And on a national level, what we're seeing right now is that more young people are running for office. So we certainly encourage the young people in our community to consider this, and more women are stepping up to run for office.
Sure.
I mean, when you look at, first of all, Arizona is about, I think about 35% of our legislature is female. And we are like in the top 3 states in terms of the number of women in the legislature. But that's still only 35% when you consider the population being about 50% female.
You have to be at least 18 to run, right? At least 18 to run for a political office. We're out of time. This is coming up on May 3rd,
And it
10th, and
depends
17th.
on the office.
It depends on the office as well.
It depends on the office.
Okay. 5 to 7:30 p.m., May 3rd, 10th, and 17th. To register, give Barbara a call at 649-0135, 649-0135. That's all we got time for. League of Women Voters, Greater Verde Valley. Thanks, Barbara.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kathy, for coming in.
Thank you so much.
That's today's Countywide. We'll talk to you again next time.
Great.